This week on commandN, MySpace gets a facelift, Nintendo gets the thumbs down, and where to plan your next trip.
commandN.
Welcome to episode 139 of commandN. I'm Amber.
I'm Will Pate.
And we have a beautiful sunny day, so we're back outside.
I love it. I'm squinting because it's a lot of sun, but I'm squinting with love.
Yes, we're squinting with love, and also we're doing something else with love. We are saying to Brian McKechnie, who's been with us for 3 years, thank you so much for shooting and editing commandN over the past few years. You've done such a great job, and unfortunately, this is Brian's last show.
Aww.
I know, but the good news is that he has agreed to come back now and again to do some segments, and he's such a dear friend of all of ours, so we hope that he comes back as much as he wants.
Come on back.
He is like the glue.
He is. Glue. He's like the marshmallow of our s'more.
He is. He's one of my favorite people ever. And we are getting some more help from Chris. He's going to be shooting and editing the show and getting some good guidance from Brian.
Nice.
All right, let's talk about the tech headlines of the week. Our first headline this week is about one of Will's favorite sites, maybe?
MySpace.
MySpace, and
That's right.
Some changes.
Yep, well, MySpace did a huge redesign. It's the biggest redesign I've seen on the site for as long as I've been on there, and they hired a really great firm called Adaptive Path to help them redesign the site, make it look better, and it looks amazing. It's night and day, so well done, guys.
Adaptive Path is a great company.
With great people, too.
Yes, good people. That's always important. I haven't been on MySpace for a long time, but I need to get back on there and check out some of my comments and add some more friends.
Yeah, your MySpace friends are waiting for you.
I know, it's very sad. I'll get back there, I promise you. Now, in other news, Greenpeace has done a study of 18 tech companies, and they've determined how green-friendly these companies are. As far as the worst company on the list, it's Nintendo. So they've said that Nintendo has no green-friendly policies, is really at the bottom of the list. Now, Nintendo has obviously come back, and they've been a little bit angry about this, said they really weren't involved in this process, but nonetheless, the study still came out, and they're still at the bottom. As far as second last, it's Microsoft. Kind of surprising. I know. I thought
they mostly do software.
I know. I thought they would be a little bit higher up on the list as far as green-friendly policies because, you know, they seem to spend so much money in other areas of the world, and that would be one place where I would see them spending some cash, but obviously not. Sony, though, came up towards the top of the list as far as one of the companies who does the best as far as having environmental policies within that company. So, way to go, Sony.
Yeah. I gotta say, if you have a company, or if you work at a company and you want to help it become more green, one of the best resources I can recommend is a site, or a book actually, called The Natural Step by Paul Hawken. It's all about how businesses can learn how to be green and actually save money and make more money while doing it.
Ooh, that sounds great, Will.
It's really handy.
Now, Will, I know you have a very exciting map site that you can't stop talking about.
Well, it's not a new map site, actually. The interesting story here is that Google has created Map Maker, which actually allows you to edit Google Maps. Now, this is not create your own Google map and edit it. This is you get to edit the real Google Maps. So if you see inaccuracies or things you want to add, you can actually put the stuff in there.
So it's like Wikipedia in some ways, you know, anyone can edit it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I gotta try that out. And I have to say something about Google Maps. I went on a road trip to Chicago just last week, printed off a Google map, and there were so many things that were wrong. I just wanted to kill someone. I know. So Toronto to Chicago, that drive, I've got to go in and I've got to switch it up.
Yeah.
Tell the people what's right.
It'll be the Amber Toronto to Chicago drive from now on.
I like it. It's a good theme. Now, another thing that Google has launched, this is launched in Canada. I know it's been in the US for a while, but this is Goog 411. So this is a phone number that you can call, and you can actually ask where the nearest pizza place is. You can ask a bunch of information. It actually works based on voice recognition, and a new service in Canada. So a lot of happy people up north, so they don't necessarily need to be at their computer to check for where they can find things in their neighborhood or city.
Take that, rest of the world.
Take that, rest of the world. That's good news.
So we get frustrated here because in Canada, we're always like 157th country to get stuff like, you know, iTunes, iPhones, all that kind of fun stuff. So.
I know, it's sad. But we're going to have the iPhone soon. But for people who still have an iPhone that maybe is a hacked iPhone, I think that you have a good spot for them to go on the web.
Yeah, one of my favorite tech blogs ever, Mashable, had a really great list of 30 applications for jailbroken iPhones. So if you've unlocked your iPhone, you've jailbroken it, there's a great list of 30 apps you can use, and everything from games to news to technology, all kinds of great stuff. So.
And that's not to be confused with jailbait.
No.
No.
I don't think you want jailbait on your iPhone.
No, that would be bad. And the funny thing, the reason I say that is when I read your headline at first, I just skimmed over it, and that's what I thought it said. But you know, Will, you're a better man than that.
I try.
You try. Now, for people out there who are using Twitter, which I know you're on Twitter, I'm on Twitter, we've talked about it a lot on the show, there is a new service online. It's a website called Twello, and Twello allows you to go online, you can search it, and you can find out what business people are in on Twitter. So any people out there who are listed on Twitter, doesn't matter necessarily how many followers they have, you can go and you can find out, do they work in arts and entertainment, do they work in sports, do they work in the technology world, are they geeks, and they've really categorized, I think, a couple 100,000 different people who are on Twitter and put them onto this site. So maybe it's a better way to do networking or find out a little bit more about people who you're following / stalking on Twitter.
Well, I honestly, though, I think it's great. I've always wondered why Twitter hasn't launched groups. So it sounds like this is a good way, at least for professionals, to find different people with similar interests who work in the same space as them. So.
Yeah, and you know what? I say Twitter, don't launch anything new right now because, quite frankly, you need some improvements with just the basic site that you have.
They've got a
right
new
there.
guy who's working on the scaling. So.
Yeah, I know. That's really good news because every time I try to check in, it always says Twitter's having problems.
Yeah, I don't want to see that whale anymore.
No, no more whale.
No more whale.
Hi, I'm Jeff MacArthur, and for this week's Tech Tips, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, usability. Our company, mgimedia.ca, does a lot of online usability work, and while some people seem to be catching on that usability is enormously important and maybe the most important thing for your websites, there's still a lot of sites out there that are missing the mark. So here are a few quick usability tips. 1, focus on users. This is what usability is all about. So figure out what your users will be doing on your site and make that process as intuitive and uncomplicated as possible. 2, get your site architecture right. There's nothing that'll help more with usability than having your site structured in a coherent, sensible way. Make sure you have clear navigation and break down content into related areas in a sensible way. A good rule of thumb is that it should only take a user a maximum of 3 clicks to reach almost any content on your site. 3, labeling. Consistent and intuitive naming and labeling of all content on your site is also very, very important. So make sure you've chosen good descriptive labels and that these are applied consistently across your entire site. 4, writing for the web is not the same as writing for print. People don't read on the web, they scan on the web. So you need to make your copy concise, well-marked, and easily scannable. Highlight some keywords, maybe bold them or italicize them to bring them out. Use subheadings and lists, and keep it simple and direct. 5, test your site. But don't just test it on different browsers. You got to do that. But test your site with different users. Even having just a few people walk through your site, preferably from your target demographic, can help immensely. So find somebody that you can sit down, give a list of common tasks to, and just sit there and observe as they go through the tasks and record their comments. This is not a time for you to be interacting with this person at all. You're pretty much silent in this. Other users aren't going to benefit from you explaining how things work for the site, so you don't really want to be engaged in that process. Your goal in this testing is not to train the user. It's just to see how somebody coming to your site for the first time will behave and to get some indications about how you can make that process easier for them. There's certainly a lot more than that to usability. We do wireframing, user interviews, site comparisons, focus groups, and on and on and on. You can get very, very robust with usability. But the important thing is that you thoroughly consider what kind of experience a user is going to have going to your site, and that you try to make that experience as pleasant and easy as possible. And then you'll be on the path to better usability. I'm Jeff MacArthur. Enjoy.
Today we have Butch Langlois from PlanetI.com, and we're going to give you a sneak peek of the site. What is PlanetI all about?
So PlanetI is a site, it's all around travel planning, and it uses a foundation of presenting data on a map, and that can be data being pictures, it can be local expert data or user reviews, and it can also be professionally aggregated data like hotels, restaurants, and attractions, and it's presented on a map. And what our sort of secret element is that we have this technology that's patented that allows us to manage large volumes of data on a map and either present you a best of view or a very customized view according to some of the preferences you have.
Now, there are so many travel sites out there that claim to make our lives easier because it's a place where you can go online and you can really manage where you're going to be going on your trip. But what do you think it is about PlanetI that sets it apart from some of these other sites?
No, so there's a huge amount of sites coming out. There's a lot of sites being even funded today. So you have the booking parts of the system, which have, over time, people look at how you book. You can say, I'm going to London, I go to Expedia, I get a long list of hotels. I then look, I see some prices that might interest me or a brand. I go to TripAdvisor, I read a bunch of reviews, and if there's bed bugs or I get freaked out, I try to sort of select what my hotel is. And what I don't do is really look at the context of either some of the things I might want to do in that city, some attractions I might want to visit, or where I might have meetings. And what we try to do is present the whole context of a city and present those things to you so you actually make better planning decisions before you actually book. We also enable you to book by integrating with Travelocity and OpenTable and others. But we want you to see the context of a city, maybe see some things that are ranked high in the attraction side of things, and then if we can suggest things that might be great for you that you might know about, that's even better.
Now, what about the community side of the site? I recently spoke at a travel conference, and at the conference I was talking about some stats, like for instance, $10 billion in the travel industry as far as business is actually changed or has been generated based on user-generated content. How important is that to what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so I think it's actually a combination of both professional aggregation and user content. So things like TripAdvisor, I talk about them a lot in hotels because I'm always amazed at the amount of data they have. I use it for hotels, and we're not going to recreate the model in that case. We aggregate their content, and if you're looking for hotels within New York in this area that have TripAdvisor community reviews 4 out of 5 or better, we can present that to you. At the same time, our community is really going to be centered around picking out great trips that you might do within that city, and the way that's being presented is we actually have local experts managed by Mark Evans here in Toronto. He's our head of community. And local experts, we have them in 50 cities where they're writing reviews about the hottest and greatest things, and that publishing system is going to be rolled out to the community, and they'll be using the same thing to geotag their relevant areas of interest, their likes and dislikes, and in that way we hope to get local people writing about what's so great about their city, so that when you're a tourist there, you're actually sharing in that as well.
So my last question for you, because there are also entrepreneurs who watch the show and they're interested in making money online, as a company, how do you plan to make revenue off of this?
Right, so there's sort of two models. This is my third startup, so I'm all about focus. So first thing you have to do is pick your market. We picked the B2C travel market. It's going to be an advertising affiliate model. You have to go at it and you got to attack it. There are lots of differentiated models. There's lots of uses for the technology. It could be in real estate, it could be in other things, but you have to attack the market you're going at. You can't be persuaded by, here's a contract with someone, they want you to do this with your technology. So the first model is all about affiliate fees, advertising revenue, sponsorship, licensing deals in the travel industry.
All right, and now people want to go there right now to PlanetI.com. Do they have to pay anything to use the site?
No, it's completely free. So you go on, you register. The other part we didn't really talk about is that part of the community aspect is putting in your own photos and then sharing those and contributing those to the community. So all the technology is there. It's very, very fun to work with, and there's some great content there already to look at.
All right, we love to travel, and we love free, and we love Sweden, so we'll have to try it out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now it's time for our silly web picks of the week. What do you have this week, Amber?
They're silly because they're actually a little bit fun, and I'm so excited about my web pick this week. It's called readatwork.com. It's a great site, and it's just a really good pastime if you're in business and you're sitting at your desk and you want a way where you can go and you can read novels online, you can read short stories, you can also read poems, but the thing is, it looks like you're reading them on your Windows desktop, and it looks as though they're in PowerPoint presentations. So the idea is they've taken novels by people like Oscar Wilde, and they've put them into a PowerPoint presentation, and they put them, there's graphs, there's headings, there's everything, and you can actually go through them, and if your boss walks up, hey, it looks like you're working on a PowerPoint, or you're reading through a PowerPoint. That's very relevant to your job.
Somewhere Oscar Wilde is rolling in his grave, knowing now that his literature has gone to PowerPoint.
I know, and you know what? They've gone really far with the site in the sense that as soon as you go to the site, it actually looks like the Windows login screen, and then you click as a guest, and you go in, and then it has the actual desktop. It has all the icons. You can go full screen and just have the whole experience of looking busy at work, but getting smarter at the same time.
I don't even, you know what? If you really need to read that much at work, why not just like tell your boss you need a break?
Yeah, that's a good idea, but if you can't get that break, readatwork.com.
You can't get that break, we got you covered.
And Will, you have something to do with babies?
Amber, there is a new site called makemebabies.com, and if you've ever seen Conan O'Brien, you know when they do those things where they take like 2 celebrities and put them together to make a really ugly baby?
I love that.
It's like that, but without the celebrities and without the really ugliness. Take 2 pictures of people, put them together, and it shows you what their baby would look like.
Ooh, Will.
So folks, fans, I would say maybe grab some Amber pictures and combine her with some...
Send them to me, that would be great.
Yeah, send them to her.
So I can explore the pool of people out there.
Combine, let her know who she would have the best babies with.
Thanks, Will, I appreciate that. And you know what, as always, you can leave your comments at commandN.tv. We'll be in there poking around and communicating with people, meeting different people in the comments, and you know, people sometimes go in the comments and they get on the show, which is kind of fun.
It can happen to you.
It can. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And again, thank you so much to Brian McKechnie. He's one of our greatest friends, and you can find him online at bamcat.com. And I'm sure you'll see him back here soon enough.
See you soon, bud.
All right, thanks for watching and have a great week.
Great.